In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Don't lie.
She went out.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a recap of the first debate between President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. This took place at 9 p.m. on yesterday, which was Tuesday, September the 10th, 2024. Now, there is supposed to be another debate. I think Kamala wants another one. Maybe she thinks she didn't do very well, and she wants to run it back to try and make up for what she didn't do the first time. I think she didn't do very well. I think Trump did well. And beyond that, I think this was a very informative debate for the American people. I have a newsletter I'm subscribed to where they give me Google search trends, and people were searching for what's IVF, where's Camp David, how much does Obamacare cost, what's a tariff. They were searching for these things that they had not really heard of before. Fracking was one of them as well. This was more informative for the American people than anything else, in my humble opinion. Now, what we're going to do right now is get straight into a few videos. And before I begin, I want to thank all you guys who were with me live on the stream last night. It was definitely a good time. I enjoyed you guys. So shout out to y'all. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to try to summarize this in 15 minutes. Let's see how that goes. But first things first, the very first question about the economy. Let's see what the question was and how Kamala responded. Check it out.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
That's not a very good answer. Okay. Are we better off? Now, she did not answer the question. She's talking about, I was a middle-class kid and I got a plan. Not very convincing. Let's keep on going here. Here was a good moment where she was interrupting Trump and then Trump had to check her. Now, some people said that Trump came off angry and he was getting agitated by what Kamala was doing in the gaslighting, but I don't think so. And if I'm wrong about what I'm about to say, you'll let me know. But I did not see him interrupt her one time when she was speaking. He let her speak, he let her get her point across, and then he would respond in an appropriate time. But only until then. But Kamala interrupted more than once. Check this out.
In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Don't lie.
She went out.
Trump is hilarious because when she did the interruption again, he was like pausing yet again. And then the eyes kind of shifted like, it was like, all right, did you just stop talking? So Trump, hilarious guy. That was a funny moment, but let's keep on going. Oh, abortion. This was a big one because people think that Trump wants to ban abortion. They're talking about, oh, he's going to ban abortion and he's going to ban IVF fertilization treatments, which is a lie. Let's hear straight from the man himself what he thinks about abortion.
What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
And what he means by that is taken over by the states. When the Supreme Court repealed Roe v. Wade, what that did was bring the issue of abortion back to the individual states to decide. So they're going to vote on it. If you're living in California and you want to delete babies up until the point of conception, then that's on y'all if you vote for it. If you're living somewhere else and you want stricter abortion, then that's what it is. Also, Trump said that he's in favor of abortion for the three instances, sexual assault, incest, life with a mother. He is in favor of it in those circumstances. So he's not a hardline abortion person like many kind of far right people are. Now, here was one about fracking. Fracking was an issue. That was a thing people were searching for. Like, what's that? Fracking is a process of basically breaking rock to get to natural gas and possibly oil underneath. I think this is mostly for natural gas. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's pretty much the process. So Kamala said that she wanted to ban fracking at a certain point. Then she changed her mind. So they were asking her, hey, why'd you flip flop? And do you still feel the same way you felt before the flip flop? Like, what's going on? Check it out.
I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
What is the solution for voters in the fossil fuel industry?
Giving the workers an ability to transition.
And they will have the intensive training to make the transition.
Yeah, learn the code, right? No more fracking, learn the code. That's what she said back then. But she said, oh, that was always my point of view to not ban fracking. So that's kind of weird that you would say that, but you said that back then. Which one is it? Who are we for real? Are we Indian, black? What's going on? And by the way, they asked her about the whole Indian and black thing, and she brushed it off. And that's a pretty important point to talk about, because people are saying they want to vote for you because you're black. But if you're not black, then how are they going to vote for you? You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying they should vote on race, but people are voting on race. So that's an important thing. Now, this was pretty interesting. He said that she wanted to allow transgender illegal aliens to get sex changes in the penitentiary. Check it out.
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. Now she wants to do.
Now, this is a real thing. Mark Lamont Hill, he chimed in. Oh, that's crazy. I never heard anything like that before. But let's go back. This is CNN reporting the story now. Let's go back.
Yeah, and this was a questionnaire that she filled out for the ACLU, and this questionnaire is really an interesting snapshot in time of that 2019 Democratic primary. Kamala Harris was trying to get to the left of Bernie Sanders. She was trying to get to the left of Elizabeth Warren, and you really see that in a lot of these answers, and I want to walk our viewers through a little bit of what she said. Let's just take immigration and look at what she said here. She said on immigration, she made this open-ended pledge to end immigrant detention. She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants.
So there you have it. This is CNN reporting it. Oh, it ain't Fox, it ain't ABL. CNN, they said it, and she filled it out. And she didn't deny it. She filled it out. The ACLU, okay, you filled this out. We're gonna just release it. It is what it is. Now, they said they didn't find anybody else that filled this out, probably because she was the only one dumb enough to do it. Okay, let's keep on going. She also supported defunding the police.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she was big on defund the police.
Now, she's shaking her head no, but there's a whole story right here. There's a whole story right there. Okay, and then we have to redirect resources from police. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out right now, shall we? Live in real time. Okay, Harris in 2020 said we have to redirect resources from the police. This is ABC News. This is the very same news outlet that hosted the debate. And by the way, the debate was very biased against Trump. It was a 3 versus 1. You had the moderators. What's your man, David Muir? David Muir was ridiculous. At one point, Trump said that he said something in jest, and he was being sarcastic about the whole "we lost by a whisker" in the election. And David Muir said, well, I didn't detect the sarcasm in that. Really? You're going to be a sarcasm detector? Are you the sincerity czar? Is that your job, David Muir? It was ridiculous. It was the 3-on-1. CNN did a much better job with their debate than ABC. And that's facts. I don't care if they liberal, conservative, they did a much better job. Let's keep on going here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. This was really crazy because this particular lie has been debunked over and over, even by leftists. Check it out.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. That
was a really, really crazy one because that's been debunked so much. Even Snopes debunked it. And Snopes is a notorious left website. Look at this. No, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Okay. They finally admitted it earlier this year, June 21, 24. Even though that was in 2017 when that whole thing happened, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So you're lying so much, even leftists are saying, wait a minute now. He ain't say all that now. Okay, he didn't say all that. The issue of the good people on both sides was the statue. There was a statue on the campus. There was an argument about whether to keep the statue or to remove it. You had normies on both sides, and you had bad people on both sides of the argument over the statue. That's what he was referring to. And everybody knew it at that time. Let's keep on going. Now, Kamala is the border czar, or she was appointed as the border czar by Joe Biden, by the Biden administration. If you have a problem with migrants wherever you live, she's the reason why you have it, because it's her responsibility to make sure that the border is closed up. I mean, if it's not, then why are you called the border czar? Let's watch this.
Why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country.
Why did
Now, look, she's referring to the so-called border bill because you might have seen the news where Trump called people and said, hey, don't sign that bill. It'll make me look bad, whatever, whatever. Now, look, the border was relatively secure under Trump without a bill. Now you having border crosses reaching all-time high, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 times. The crisis is happening. Again, if you have a migrant crisis in your city, was it like that when Trump was in office, or did it get like that after 2021 or in 2021 and thereon when Kamala and Creepy Joe came in office? The bill had all kind of other stuff in it that wouldn't have been good. And again, there was no need for a bill when Trump was in there. So why is there a need for a bill now? They, meaning the Biden administration, broke the border, left it open on purpose, and then they want to try to make us sign a blank check for them to fix it. I think not. Go back to what Trump was doing. There was no need for a bill for that. So why need a bill now? Let's keep on going. This was a funny moment talking about Biden pretty much being asleep on the beach, etc. Check it out.
I ask you this. You talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate, because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border, because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The president of the United States, you'll get him out of bed. You'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. You'll say, come on down to the office. Let's sign a bill.
Even she laughed at the 4 p.m. joke. There was plenty of times here where she was smiling at Trump, where she was kind of charmed by him. And that's no good if you're going to be on the debate stage, because aren't you supposed to be the one that's, competing against him to try and become the president? But yet he's charming you. He is kind of controlling how you operate. It didn't look good for her.
If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed.
Now, what he's saying as far as signing a bill, what he means is that he could just do it. There's no need to have a bill like you would have in Congress with a bunch of other pork and nonsense in it. Okay, close the border. That's just a couple of words. 3 words? Close the border. You don't need 1,000 pages of a bill to do that. You understand? But let's keep on going.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
Absolutely agree. And then he also was talking about how Kamala did not receive any votes in the primary. Joe Biden did. But somehow Kamala is the Democratic nominee, and they pretty much threw Joe Biden away. That's not very democratic. You're supposed to have an election, and then from that election, the person that wins should be the one who receives the reward for winning. But that's not what happened here. That is not what happened here. All right, this was an interesting moment as well.
And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies. And I'm
And you know what? I would say to anybody, go ahead and do it. Go to a Trump rally. It's no threat. I'm not threatening you at all. A Trump rally is a great time. It's no nonsense, no beef, no hate. It's nothing but love. All different walks of life, all colors, creeds, ethnicities, gender, whatever it is. Everybody's there. It's a great time. So yeah, go to a Trump rally. If you're curious, you don't know who to vote for, and it's a Trump rally in your city, go check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. If you are kind of on the fence, you might not like Trump, think he's a racist, go to the rally. You'll be surprised for sure. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. This was a crazy moment as well from David Muir, the guy right here on the left, of course.
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers.
Now, they didn't show the beginning of this where he asked the question, speaking about David Muir. He was like, hey, do you want Ukraine to win? The war between Ukraine and Russia? That's an inappropriate question because it shouldn't be about one country winning over the other. It should be about the war coming to an end. If you want Ukraine to win, then you are in favor of the war. The war should just come to an end. I don't want Ukrainians to die or Russians to die. Same thing, Israel, Palestine. I don't want Israelis to die, and I don't want Palestinians to die. I want everybody to be peaceful. I want the war to come to a conclusion. I'm not rooting for one side over the other. Not at all. I'm rooting against war, period. Let's keep on going.
Excuse me. Every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal.
Now he's talking about all the, the convictions, because of course she brought that up. Oh, he's convicted. He was found liable for X, Y, and Z. But we all know that it's lawfare. And then it started by their DOJ. They're incentivizing and or forcing certain places to go after him. The whole New York thing, Atlanta, and the cases go nowhere. They just had to do something to try to get him out of the way, and it didn't work. Shout out to Trump. I think this was a decisive victory for Trump. Some conservatives thought that it was, and they thought that he was a little bit too ornery, a little bit too agitated, letting her get to him. But I don't think so. Like I say, he didn't interrupt her not one time, but she did. And he was able to express himself very well. He was able to get certain points out there about the whole thing of Aurora, Colorado and Springfield, Ohio with the pets and the migrants. This is a really big thing. So he was able to get certain points across. He was able to give the American people information that they can go and research themselves rather than listening to the mainstream media, because the media won't focus on too much of that stuff. As I close, they won't focus on that. They focus on what they can do to make Kamala look good. Anything else they want to shy away from. So now we have the information. Now more of us are informed. And I hope that if you're watching debates for the first time, you're into politics for the first time, you keep that philosophy. Read, research, and figure things out on your own rather than listening to these mainstream media outlets or anybody else who are trying to make the decision for you. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the debate? Who do you think won? Do you think it was Trump? Do you think it was Kamala Harris? How did they perform during the debate? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think it's pretty decisive. Trump won, and it was a 3-on-1. It was David Muir, Lindsey Davis, and Kamala Harris versus Trump. There was a lot of fact checking from the moderators, so-called moderators, against Trump. They fact checked Trump quite a bit. They didn't fact check Kamala at all, even on the most egregious of lies, the biggest one being the whole Charlottesville thing. Good people on both sides. That's been debunked by the left and the right. It's been universally debunked, but it didn't say a word. But then you got David Muir talking about, oh, I didn't detect the sarcasm. You see what I'm saying? It's really crazy. And I think that the American people can see the difference in how Trump was treated versus Kamala. Look, all I ask is for fairness. Treat everybody the same. And for the candidates, be the same. Be consistent. If you're Trump and that's how you are, be that way all the time. If you're Kamala and you say you're Indian American, be that way all the time, rather than saying you're Indian one day and black the next day. Oh, she's biracial. Okay, just say that then. Just say that rather than saying I'm Indian one day among one set of company and then the other company, you say you black. I don't like that, especially since people are voting for her because she's quote unquote black and she's kind of leaning into that. I don't like that at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.